In the hushed, shadowy confines of the human skull, a fortress built from calcium and utter darkness, lies the most intricate and baffling object in all the known universe. Suspended in a gentle bath of cerebrospinal fluid, this 1.5 kilogram mass of jelly-like tissue throbs with life, boldly declaring itself as I. This is the profound irony of our being. We craft soaring cathedrals, weave symphonies that stir the soul, and venture into distant galaxies, yet we remain eternal strangers within our own inner world. Our intuition, that soft inner whisper echoing without end, assures us we are the sovereign pilots of our fate, steadfast captains steering a biological vessel through life's forks in the road. We feel it deep in our gut, a unified observer peering out from behind our eyes, gathering data, weighing options, and commanding our muscles to act with deliberate intent. But modern neuroscience, with its precise scanners and probing electrodes, rises like a harbinger of existential reckoning, proclaiming that this sense of control is nothing more than a clever hallucination. The I is not enthroned as king, it is the court jester, convinced it rules while hidden gears turn of their own accord. To grasp the depth of this deception, imagine descending into the microscopic abyss of gray matter, where the human brain houses around 86 billion neurons, a constellation that mirrors the stars in our Milky Way galaxy, linked by trillions of synapses in a web of unfathomable complexity. Each thought you cherish as your own creation, every treasured memory, every emotion that clutches at your chest, emerges from an electrochemical storm, sodium and potassium ions surging across cell membranes in blind obedience to physics and yielding laws. No sorcery here, just mechanics. If we could peer into the brain with infinite clarity, we would see no spirit or soul, no spark of free will, only a deterministic cascade where the present state of matter inevitably dictates the next. In this mechanistic theater, freedom finds no stage, orphaned in a cosmos governed by differential equations. This chasm between our subjective perception and objective reality was starkly revealed by neurophysiologist Benjamin Libet in experiments that still resonate like a tolling bell for human ego. Monitoring brain activity as volunteers chose to flex a finger at will, Libet uncovered the readiness potential, a neural buildup starting hundreds of milliseconds before conscious awareness of the decision. The brain's machinery had already committed to the act before the mind caught up, suggesting consciousness is not the commanding general but the delayed messenger, rewriting history in a supreme act of self-deception to claim authorship. We live in perpetual lag, watching a delayed broadcast of our lives, persuaded we direct the show when we are chained spectators. Yet, recent critiques and studies have nuanced this view. For instance, experiments refining Libet's methods show that the readiness potential may not always predict decisions in meaningful contexts, and some researchers argue it reflects preparation rather than predetermination, leaving room for conscious veto or influence. This ongoing debate stirs a quiet thrill, inviting us to wonder if our agency slips through the cracks of interpretation. Such revelations crumble the foundations of moral responsibility and personal identity. If choices stem from unconscious processes shaped by unchosen genetics and uncontrollable environments, where does liberty dwell? We become biological puppets, strings pulled by invisible forces, neurotransmitters dancing, hormones surging, past traumas echoing, neural circuits wired by chance. The murderer and the saint emerge as mere material configurations, inevitable outcomes from equations set in motion at the Big Bang. The universe's relentless cause and effect flows through us, and what we call will is the hum of grinding gears. The inner struggle between duty and desire feels vivid, yet illusory as a cause, merely the machine's creak, not its driver. Delving deeper into this existential fabrication, consider Michael Gazzaniga's work with split-brain patients, where severing the corpus callosum, the bridge between hemispheres, exposes the left brain as an interpreter. Confronted with actions from the isolated right hemisphere, it fabricates seamless narratives to explain them, never admitting ignorance. This hints at a dizzying truth: perhaps the unified I is just a tireless storyteller, stitching fragmented impulses into a coherent biography to ward off inner chaos. Recent insights from split-brain research reveal that even minimal remaining connections can unify consciousness, suggesting neural resilience and challenging older assumptions of total separation. It's a humbling reminder of how our brains adapt, weaving unity from division, much like the cosmos binds galaxies with invisible dark matter. Neuroscience isn't merely charting tissue, it's dismantling the soul. It tells us red isn't in the world, only light wavelengths translated into redness by the brain. Sound isn't real, just air compressions turned electric. Similarly, the I is a construct, an evolved user interface simplifying overwhelming biological complexity. Evolution prized utility over truth, believing in free, unified agency fostered social bonds and behavioral prediction for survival. But utility doesn't equal reality. We're trapped in a brain-generated simulation, Plato's cave where shadows pass for absolutes, and the most enduring shadow is the observer itself. The tragedy deepens with eliminative materialism. If mental states are identical to brain states, the mind vanishes. Love becomes a flood of dopamine, oxytocin, and vasopressin in reward circuits, depression, a serotonin reuptake glitch or inflammation hindering neuroplasticity. This reduction might seem a brutal disenchantment, stripping life's poetry, yet it unveils a terrifying grandeur. We're woven from stardust, obeying laws that fuse nuclei and orbit planets. We're not outsiders gazing at nature, we're nature gazing back through an imperfect biological lens. The clash of free will with Laplacian determinism, Pierre-Simon Laplace's vision of an intellect predicting all from atomic positions, persists, though quantum mechanics injects chance, shattering rigid chains. But randomness isn't freedom. If decisions hinge on subatomic dice rolls, we're not deciders but stages for necessity and chaos to waltz. This cosmic horror posits consciousness as an epiphenomenon, a useless byproduct like engine heat or a fridge's hum. We could be philosophical zombies, behaving humanly without inner experience. Why does matter, organized just so, feel? This is consciousness's hard problem, a wall against which intellect crashes endlessly, as philosopher David Chalmers continues to emphasize in recent discussions, arguing it's not reducible to physical processes alone. It evokes a sense of awe, a quiet shiver at the mystery's edge. In this automaton realm, retributive justice becomes barbaric cruelty. A criminal with a tumor pressing the amygdala, like Charles Whitman, the Texas Tower shooter, elicits pity for biological causes. But if the trigger is microscopic, like MAOA enzyme deficits or childhood-forged neural paths, we condemn as evil. Neuroscience blurs this line. All are physical causes. It wasn't him, it was his brain, is redundant. There is no him apart from the brain. We punish broken clocks instead of repairing them. Society must isolate threats, but moral hatred rests on the false premise of alternate choices in a mechanical universe. Still, the illusion endures, essential. Each dawn, choice feels as solid as the earth beneath our feet. Perhaps free will emerges at complex social levels, like wetness from water molecules in an ocean. Or redefine it, acting per internal desires, even determined, grants pragmatic freedom if unforced externally. Contemplating the outer universe's spiraling galaxies and devouring black holes alongside our inner synaptic labyrinths dissolves boundaries. We're fragmented cosmos, matter awakened to question origins. Neuroscience connects us to the whole, thoughts as natural as tides, passions as physical as volcanic eruptions. Ego's death makes way for radical empathy. We're all ensnared in causality's web, playing handed cards. Yet, atoms renew over years, memories warp on recall, personality shifts with hormones. What persists? A pattern, a standing wave in an eternal river. Water changes, form lingers briefly before dissolving. Accepting transience awakens us from the dream. We're not dreamers, but the universe's dream. Diving into this biological machine, the brain, sealed in cranial silence, never touches reality directly. It processes action potentials, not photons, decodes electric frequencies, not sound waves. Our world is a controlled hallucination, rendered for survival, not truth. At its core, the avatar navigates a sophisticated game. Contemporary tools like functional MRI map this phantom, revealing the left hemisphere's compulsive storytelling. It spins coherent tales from sensory chaos and unconscious urges, post hoc claiming, we chose. Pioneering chronometry shows temporal gulfs, cortical readiness precedes voluntary movement by seconds sometimes, consciousness the late arriving press secretary rewriting victories. We dwell in the past, believing we helm the live feed. No magical gap for a soul to breach energy conservation. Quantum invocations don't rescue free will, replacing determinism with probability makes us random, not agents. A rolling die isn't free. Under this lens, morality reboots, justice shifts from vengeance to protection, deterrence, rehabilitation. Hatred illogical, we fix faulty cars, not despise them. Compassion rational, evil, as biological entropy, empathy circuit failures. Yet, consciousness's hard problem lingers. If information processing, why does it feel? Why redness from 700 nanometer waves, not data? Qualia haunt us, robots detect damage sans agony. Perhaps consciousness is fundamental, like mass or charge, organized evolutionarily. Or strong illusionism, we think we feel, but access internal, feeling, representatives, the brain deceives even about pain's nature. Evolution shaped brains for fitness, not truth. Theorists like Donald Hoffman liken perception to a desktop interface, icons hide transistor complexity for usability. Space, time, objects, even I, are biological icons. Reality might be multidimensional probability fields or conscious agents. We're in an evolutionary VR headset for reproduction. Science studies interface icons, not underlying hardware, the Kantian noumen unveiled. Experience undeniable, pain real to the feeler, love, though chemical, topples empires. The I, illusion vital for contracts, promises, civilizations. We inhabit paradox, intellectually, deterministic processes, emotionally, purposeful agents. This duality is humanity's tragedy and glory, the universe awakening to its mechanicity, terrified by non-existence. Liberation follows. If I constructed, it can't truly wound. Ego's offenses, death fears, validation quests, mere data patterns. Death dissolves waves back to ocean, atoms endure, energy conserves, information scatters. Imagine nobody's freedom, dropping biographies weight, my life, successes, failures. Pure awareness witnesses cosmic spectacle, the mystic's meditation goal, neuroscience's logical deduction. Silencing the default mode network, neural correlative self-referential daydreaming, yields expanded presence, observer-observed boundary melting. In non-duality, free will secondary. No separate I needs freedom from universe, we are the universe acting. Will moving your arm mirrors that spinning galaxies. Internal-external distinction the final illusion. Neuroplasticity offers escape, though thought's unchosen pre-emergence, training reshapes future probabilities. We lack momentary free will but possess, free won't, veto power, debatable yet rooted neurally, and long-term algorithm tweaking. We're neural ecosystem gardeners, pruning inherited gardens. We tread a tightrope, fatalistic nihilism one side, meet robots, nothing matters, egoic omnipotence the other. Middle path, lucid acceptance. Causal chains humble, programming complexity fascinates. Human dignity in comprehending physical bondage, transcending instinctual blindness. Matter doubting itself, the highest consciousness known. Universe's mechanics birthed questioners of gears, why? The query triumphs, even in silence or neural echoes. The I, illusion, matter's magnificent dream. If this illusion our sole compass, confront its consequences on civilization's sacred bedrock, morality, justice. Each neural firing airs an unbroken chain to stellar births, RNA's first molecule. Guilt metamorphoses. Society's retributive pillars tremble before biology. Criminals as storms of unfavorable genetics, intrauterine malnutrition, childhood traumas sculpting amygdala pre-speech, where's evil, sin? We don't deem brake-failed cars perverse, we repair or sideline. Evolutionary wiring craves vengeance, suffering balance. Neuroscience beckons ethical revolution, from punitive hatred to consequentialist sanitation, damage containment, biological machinery rehab. Not freeing prisons, but shifting gaze on transgressors. Hatred obsolete in failure's mechanics. This dissolves success arrogance too. Geniuses, athletes, visionaries, cosmic lottery winners unchosen. Willpower, early rising, perseverance, biological functions tied to dopamine, prefrontal cortex. Pride in discipline like pride in height or eye color, mistaking luck for merit. Humility dizzies, compassion levels kings, beggars under causality's reign. With your atoms, history, traumas, genes, IBU, acts, thoughts, pains identical. Other, separation, space-time coordinate divergence. Many flee deterministic prison via quantum mechanics, Heisenberg's uncertainty as free will grail. Subatomic reality probabilistic, electron position undefined till observed. But hope vain, randomness no liberty. Wave function collapses deciding actions. You're accidental, not willful. Tick no free choice. Chaos unpredictability, not agency. Humanity craves conscious authorship, macrophysics, neurobiology deny. No machine ghost hideout, in Newtonian gears or Schrödinger's mist. Chronometry unveils, now, as delayed broadcast, brain edits, sync sensory data pre-consciousness. Millisecond lag, we believe deciding finger moves, but motor cortex readiness active prior. Consciousness PR officer post-battle, claiming planned victories. Determinism not fatalism, future from what we do, we from now. Now, learnable, adaptable. These words alter your brain, synapses forge, proteins synthesize, future thoughts recalibrate. Free will lack knowledge becomes behavioral variable. Psychotherapy, meditation, education, pharmacology, techs readjusting machinery for less suffering, more function. Life's meaning in absolute connection. Separate, illusion births existential anguish, isolated entities battling hostile universe. Neuroscience, physics narrate continuity, brain atoms from billion-year dead stars. Thought energy flows like ocean currents, solar winds. You're not in universe, you are universe, cosmos experiencing itself focally complex. Consciousness, universe waking from inanimate slumber, marveling complexity. Ego barrier dissolves, no pilot battling controls, we're flight process. Death fear, control anxiety fade, death reconfigures matter energy, wave to ocean. Responsibility, momentary cosmic consciousness guardian. Ethics from shared identity recognition. I harm not you because fundamentally no distinction. Suffering in humanity's neural net is whole suffering. Empathy logical inevitable, not moral virtue, but conclusion. Amid mechanical universes cold silence, galaxies receding, entropy devouring order, subjective consciousness, illusory in agency, greatest statistical miracle. Inert matter, blind laws organized, feels sun's warmth, weeps loss, composes symphonies, questions freedom, a triumph needing no supernatural magic. Reality magic enough. We're proof, universe not mere clockwork, but dream-capable machine. Advancing stripped of free will armor, not naked, clothed in interdependence truth. Passengers on self-navigating ship through eternal night, dignity in mutual care, fragile life oasis. Lost liberty fantasy, gained connection real. Live as curious explorers of vast machinery, forgiving mechanical flaws, celebrating sublime functions, honoring mystery of conscious here now. Adding layers to this enigma, consider theories bridging brain and cosmos. Striking structural similarities emerge, brain's neural networks echo cosmic web, galaxies connected by dark matter filaments, neurons by synapses. Some physicists speculate universe as giant neural network, self-organizing, evolving, learning. This metaphor, grounded in real observations, evokes wonder, is our mind a microcosm of the macrocosm? Quantum theories of consciousness, like Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff's orchestrated objective reduction, OR, propose awareness arises from quantum computations in neuronal microtubules, where gravity-induced wave function collapses create conscious moments. Recent experiments support quantum effects persisting in brain's warm, wet environment, challenging classical views and hinting at deeper universe connections. Perhaps consciousness taps quantum fabric linking all reality. Panpsychism, positing proto-consciousness in all matter, gains traction through integrated information theory, IIT, by Giulio Tononi and Christoph Koch. IIT quantifies consciousness as integrated information, systems with high integration, like brains, experience richly, simpler ones, minimally. This implies panpsychism, even atoms hold infinitesimal awareness, aggregating in complex forms. It stirs curiosity. If consciousness fundamental, like gravity, universe isn't cold mechanism but alive with experience. Radical ideas suggest consciousness as reality's foundation, time, space, matter emerging from it, not vice versa. Picture the Big Bang not exploding matter, but awakening awareness rippling outward, our minds echoes of that primal stir. Simulation hypotheses amplify mystery. If advanced civilizations simulate realities, ours could be code, free will algorithmic illusion. Yet, quantum indeterminacy might allow breaking code, consciousness glitch in matrix. Recent studies explore meditation altering deep brain areas tied to memory, emotion, perhaps tapping non-local awareness. Feel the intrigue. In quiet reflection, amid breath's rhythm and heartbeat's drum, we touch something vast, eternal, universe pondering itself through us. Latest 2025 to 2026 research reinforces debates. Underground experiments doubt quantum consciousness models, yet others detect patterns suggesting free will's subtle role in decisions. Brain studies link consciousness to perception over planning, challenging old paradigms. Free energy principle applications model conscious experience, blurring mind-matter lines. These findings inspire hope amid uncertainty. Perhaps agency emerges from chaos, consciousness bridge between deterministic gears and quantum whispers. In this vast tapestry, where neurons mirror stars and thoughts echo cosmic expansions, we stand at mystery's threshold. The air hums with potential, shadows of unknown dancing like fireflies in night's embrace. What if our deepest self is the universe's hidden pulse, awakening to its own infinite wonder? I extend my deepest gratitude and profound respect to the brilliant minds whose tireless efforts have illuminated these shadows of existence. To Benjamin Libet, for his pioneering courage in timing intention and challenging our intuitions, paving roads we still travel. To Michael Gazzaniga, for unveiling the brain's interpretive artistry through split-brain revelations, enriching our grasp of unity amid division. To Pierre-Simon Laplace, whose deterministic vision sparked centuries of inquiry into fate's machinery. To David Chalmers, for articulating consciousness's hard problem with unwavering clarity, inspiring generations to confront the inexplicable. To Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff, for boldly linking quantum realms to mind's essence, expanding horizons with audacious elegant daring. To Giulio Tononi and Christoph Koch, for integrated information theory's mathematical poetry, weaving panpsychism into science's fabric. To Robert Sapolsky, for mapping behavior's biology with relentless dedication, teaching compassion through empirical lens. To Sam Harris, for dissecting free will's illusion with sharp insight, fostering ethical evolution. To Daniel Dennett, for vigorous debates sharpening philosophy's edge, advancing mind's discourse. And to all researchers in neuroscience and physics, whose quiet perseverance and selfless contributions build humanity's knowledge edifice, brick by painstaking brick, benefiting society through deeper self-understanding and empathy. Your silent devotion fuels our collective awakening. Thank you from the heart.